Hi and welcome back to the Going Gold Homestead. In today's video we embark on a little side quest to improve the performance of our gas hot water geyser. If you're new here, my wife and I live in a house that we built ourselves and which is still not finished. As I've mentioned in a previous video, the wind on our farm blowing out our LPG geyser flame is a problem, as is the often very hot inlet water, due to the more than 100 meter black supply pipe from our tanks up on the hill above the house. We're addressing the shower water temperature issues by building a custom box around the geyser using nothing but material we have on hand, and adding a 100 meter length of 32 millimeter diameter plastic pipe in a coil under the house as a 100 liter water reservoir for the inlet water to cool down. As you can see, Oberon the Rottweiler long ago figured out that the coolest place on the farm is under the house. I had a few lengths of square tubing that I cut to size and cleaned up. The geyser box must be fire resistant, as it is in fairly close proximity to the LPG geyser. For this reason, I'm using a steel frame construction and fiber cement board panels. The square tubing frame is lightweight and welded together. The box is suspended from the solidly mounted geyser itself, and it is open at the top and at the bottom to facilitate free airflow. There is a 2-inch clearance between the geyser and the box all round. I have finished the frame. I've also painted it with a rust converter product so that it doesn't rust. And lastly, I also cut the cement boards that I'll be using as the cover. Now all that remains is to drill the boards, fit them to the frame, and eventually it'll be painted, but it'll be functional even if we just fit the boards blank. At the moment, the LPG cylinder is standing atop some cinder blocks. In the future, there will be a wide walkway behind the house for the full length of the house, at approximately the level of the top of the cinder blocks. The cylinders will be standing on this walkway and fastened to the house wall. Just a cutout for the control panel and we're ready to go. So I've added the cutout in front for the control panel. I've also added this little piece to hold the chimney, the flexible flue pipe. The flue pipe is a requirement for the installation, and without it being supported, the wind blows it, it's not strong enough to just be unsupported. So I've added this and we'll see how that works. And this is the final installation. The flue pipe is up. It's not fastened to the support yet. I'll be using binding wire just to make it fireproof instead of cable ties. And once that's done, we shouldn't be bothered by the wind anymore trying to shower. The completed box was finished using crack filler before being painted. While we were busy using crack filler, Mienette also filled the ugly joints in our front wall. We still have a lot of trim to finish around the windows. After sanding and painting, the wall on the front side of the house is starting to look much better. Here is the finished box mounted on the geyser with the flue pipe in place and painted to match the walls. And trust me, it works like a charm. In other news, in a first for me and Mienette, we found a cheap box of apricots locally and decided to make some apricot jam. This is my favorite. Never having done this before, we simply followed a recipe from one of our cookbooks with some added hints from the internet. At the end of the day, this was a lot easier than I had anticipated, and I'm thoroughly enjoying our homemade preserves. If you're interested, the lids are sealed using parchment paper soaked in brandy. Well, this was our first video of 2026, and there is still many more to come. Some things to look forward to is a video on completing the tiling in the bathroom, and another one on me ripping apart and redoing the shower. Yes, I'm renovating a room that isn't even finished yet. If you're interested in following our self-reliance journey, please consider subscribing to the channel. As always, thanks for watching and look out for the next video. Cheers!